Terrific to see everybody, especially at 10 o'clock on a Monday morning. I know we don't normally do You Made a Differences at 10 o'clock on a Monday morning. But thank you so much for seeing everybody here. And I feel with Donna orchestrating today and Salvatore being received, I should say buongiorno a tutti, but
prego.
It's really great to see everybody and to celebrate the two You Made a Difference awards that we're doing today. So I'm Mike Moore, I'm chair of the trust, and Roland and I do this You Made a Difference award. May well have seen some of your other awards in pre-COVID when we physically used to come around the hospital and hand out cake and everything, and it was a great event. And what I think makes it so important is it's the whole hospital, it's all of us saying thank you and acknowledging a particular individual, or we do team awards as well, who have made such a special contribution to this very special hospital. So it is the way in which the whole hospital, everybody in the hospital, acknowledges and celebrates your contribution. So it's really quite important. It's really quite important because that's 11,000 people saying thank you and well done. We've been doing it for over 10 years now. I think, Don, it's about 11 years now,
11.
Isn't it? 2000 or even longer, 2009, in fact. So it's 12 years we've been doing it now. And doing it every month in, month out, apart from there was a little bit of a gap last year for obvious reasons. And still, unfortunately, we're having to do it like we're doing it today on Zoom. But I hope it still feels like a real celebration, because as I say, it is the whole hospital. It's much sought after as well, actually. So to be nominated at all is quite an achievement, and then to win it on top of that is a remarkable achievement that you should be very proud of, and so thank you. And it's much sought after. So this month, I think I'm right in saying that 42 different people were nominated. So I hope that gives you a sense that actually to win it is a real achievement. And what also stacks it out is that it's the whole hospital saying thank you, but the nominations have actually come either from your patients or from your team colleagues or from other people who've seen you at work. So it's really genuine. It comes from the people who you're working most closely with or for. So again, I think that adds something very special to what the You Made a Difference award is. So I'm going to hand over to Roland just to get to say why you in particular have won these awards. So hopefully Roland is here. I can't see him, but hopefully Roland is here, and Roland, I'll hand over to you.
Lovely. Thanks very much, Mike. And a huge congratulations, Salvatore. Give me a big wave. I can see you there. Who's with you, Salvatore? Can you come off mute for a moment so we can just see who's with you?
I've got lots of people. Friends.
Hello, everyone.
Fans.
Are you the Salvatore fan club?
Yes.
Because there's a person looking at a computer screen behind you who's not looking as enthusiastic.
Oh,
you are now.
Yeah, the doctor is busy.
Yeah. Yes, it's a very energetic group for a Monday morning. Well done. So Salvatore, many congratulations, as Mike said, on the award. I'm going to say a few things about you that are a fact based and not very embarrassing, and then I've actually got the full nomination. I'd like to read out about you, Salvatore, and the extraordinary work you've done here at Addenbrooke's and at CUH. So Salvatore, you joined CUH in March 2017 as a nurse awaiting your PIN number. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yes. And you started working on C6 as a band 5. That's right, isn't it?
Yep.
And you became a band 6 on ward G3 in September 2019. And then you were an acting band 7 on D7, the COVID ward, in January of this year. And you supported the substantive band 7 who was shielding and working from home. And that must have been, Salvatore, an incredibly testing time in January on D7. And a big thank you to you and all of the team. We'll come on to that in just a moment. And then you brought the team back to G3 in mid-February, and you continued in your acting Band 7 role, helping the ward settle back in as a medical unit, whilst ensuring the safety of patients, supporting staff, and contributing to patient flow. And you also, I gather, Salvatore, contributed to the Instagram career event, giving advice and support to other staff who are thinking of having a career at CUH. And you're helping to develop and motivate the team, bringing new ideas in. Salvatore, we're told you're very friendly, supportive, positive, dynamic. You never stop listening, which is probably why you've got your fan club all around you. Is that true? People behind him. Is that a fair description of Salvatore?
Yes.
Good. Now, Salvatore, you're due to return to your Band 6 role at the end of this month, at the end of April. But during your time as a Band 7, you've worked hard, you've faced many challenges, but you've really been able to engage, motivate, and encourage staff to succeed. So Salvatore, I'm now going to read out the nominations that really came from department colleagues. So this is what your colleagues have said about you. So this young nurse, that's you, Salvatore, was at his second shift on ICU, and he cared for his patient in the most exquisite way possible. Despite being out of his element and having to learn as the day went by, you could see his determination in making his patient comfortable and safe. After a tiring and long procedure, Salvatore comforted his patient, spoke to his family, and took time to shave him and prep him for a video call to let them see their loved one in the best way possible. You could see the joy in him seeing his patient finally able to speak with his family. He truly made a difference to them. Then the second nomination for you, Salvatore, is I think written by a different colleague. When Salvatore is working, you can bet that all the discharges will happen. He works tirelessly. He's always bright and cheerful and happy to contribute. If you happen to walk onto G3, you can see him getting his patients ready. He doesn't shy away from helping healthcare assistants make beds after a discharge or pushing beds across the hospital to move patients from his ward to the next one to free up acute capacity. And Salvatore, as we know, that's what makes the difference to that patient waiting in the emergency department. And it's what makes a difference to the patient coming in for surgery into another part of the hospital that day or the next day. And then the third nomination for you, Salvatore, is again, I think, from somebody different. So we want to nominate Salvatore for the excellent contribution he made during the COVID winter. Salvatore was part of the team relocated to Ward D7, and under his leadership, the ward flourished. The patients were safe and staff were happy. We can hardly think of a better organised ward during this pandemic and want to recognise his effort in giving it all to make it possible for us to work with acutely unwell patients and only focusing our attention on them, knowing that he was taking care of all the rest. He's a true example of what a good, inspired and strong leader is supposed to be. Thank you for making our stay on D7 Red the best we could possibly have hoped for.
Oh.
Salvatore, well done to you.
Oh.
Well done, Salva. Well done.
Absolutely fantastic. Would anybody else like to say anything about Salvatore, who's been involved in either your work in medicine, Salvatore, or in ICU? Anybody like to comment?
I would. So I'm Nicola. So I'm the Band 7 on G3. So obviously Salvo stepped in and helped, and he didn't question. He just got on with it, and he did really, really well. So he should be really proud of himself. And I'm proud of him too, because he's come such a long way. So well done, Salvo.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much for that. And Salvatore, would you like to say anything?
Well, it's a great honor already to be nominated, but to win after 4 years only of joining the trust, it's really touching. And I felt that the nominations were reflecting of who I am as a person and as a nurse. So I'm really happy. Actually, I almost have no words to describe how happy I am.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really terrific nomination, Salvatore. As Mike, I mean, all the nominations are obviously terrific, but very moving to hear of how well you lead your core team with other colleagues, but also the testament to your leadership and the support you provided to your colleagues, but also to that patient in COVID is very, very powerful. We're very lucky to have you.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you.
Good.
Thank you.
So Salvatore, well done. So Salvatore, you'll be getting a posterette maybe it's there.
Well, yeah, it's here.
It's here. It came.
It did.
It did.
Right. So lovely. Is the goodie bag there? The goodie box is
Yes.
there.
Yes, the goodie bag turned up.
Ooh.
Oh, excellent.
Yay.
Oh.
Lovely. Fantastic. Great. So Salvatore, yes. Oh, is that the cake?
Lots of them here.
Lots of boxes and things. Wow.
Are those the cakes?
Yes, they are.
Oh my gosh. I'm twitching with no, stay, don't go and eat it now.
No. I'll stay.
Oh, look at that.
Excellent.
That's great. God, I was feeling really stressed, Salvatore, watching you carrying it in one arm, but I shouldn't be. You're obviously.
The reason that Roland got stressed is that he and I managed to drop a cake in one of these events.
So Salvatore, the poster is something for you either to take home or to put up in the ward area, and we'll very much leave that with you. The gift vouchers are very much for you to get yourself something lovely, and you'll also have somewhere there I think in that envelope the You Made a Difference badge, which I hope you'll pop on your lanyard so we can all see. We can all see. So it's in there. And then obviously the cakes are in the boxes, and some awardees or award winners have taken all of the cake home and eaten it themselves. Others have chosen to share it out amongst the team. So, Salvatore, this is not a test of your leadership, the sense of teamwork, but we'll leave that with you. But really well done, really well done. Many congratulations again.
Thank you, Roland.
Good. Donna, are we coming to Sarah now?
Yes, please.
Great.
So Sarah is Chrissy. Chrissy Marsh is Sarah.
Yes. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hi. Yeah. Very honoured and taken aback really by it all.
Well, many congratulations to you as well. And who's with you? Is that Chrissy?
That's
Yeah,
Chrissy.
sorry, I'm here.
It's good to see you as well. Good to see you as well. So Sarah, as with Salvatore, I'm going to say a few things about you, and then I'm going to, and it's very, very long. I mean, it's this folder. I had to read. So it's a few comments about your history, Sarah, and then I'm going to read out the nomination that was written about you by one of our patients. So for all colleagues, Sarah, you're a healthcare assistant on Ward A5, and you've been there on Ward A5 since May 2020, following redeployment from D6 Neuro due to the COVID pandemic. And you're by background, Sarah, you're a registered nurse, and you returned to nursing as a healthcare assistant following some time away for your family. And I have to say, Sarah, of all the times to choose to come back to nursing, May 2020 that's a pretty heroic time to come back in. So good. We'll try not to arrange a global pandemic for your next return to work. So initially, Sarah, you were only meant to be on A5 as a temporary move, but you were asked if you could stay there permanently because you liked the ward and the team so much.
I do.
And Sarah, we're told that you're really very hardworking and a huge asset and valued member of the A5 team.
Yeah, you are.
And you provide absolutely brilliant communication skills when you're working with patients and their families and their relatives. And that can make an absolutely massive difference to patients and their experience when they're here with us at Addenbrooke's. You've got an absolutely lovely bedside manner with your patients, always showing empathy, and you always adapt very easily to meet all of the patient's individual needs, which in your area of service I know can vary enormously and are very complicated. Okay, so here's the nomination, Sarah, that was submitted for you from a patient. So in early March, I found myself sitting in the discharge lounge, waiting to be discharged from hospital. There were several patients waiting to be discharged, one of whom had been through a recent trauma and was obviously very anxious, tearful, and struggling to cope with the situation of thinking about leaving the safety of the hospital. I wanted to help that distraught patient myself. Then in walked healthcare assistant Sarah Chapman, joining her shift. She immediately noticed the tension and went directly to the distressed patient with a really gentle and warm manner. Sarah had a very natural and personal approach as she addressed the patient. And shortly, she moved the patient very gently from the room with her arms supporting her. A while later, they returned, tears shed, but looking much calmer than before, with HCA Sarah Chapman following her closely with a kind hand on the patient's shoulder. This moment was one of those stand-up moments where the kind soul giving care needs to be seen. And that's you, Sarah. I had felt tearful to see such a warm, gentle, personal approach to an individual suffering in a way most of us will never experience. Every patient in the room was affected by the situation and that wonderful HCA. Where would we be without them? Grateful thanks to Sarah Chapman. Sarah, really well done.
Thank you. Thank you
Very
very
well
much.
done. Would anybody else like to say anything about Sarah?
I've only got Chrissy here.
Yeah, they're all busy out there.
Yeah, I bet they are. But Chrissy, any comments from you?
No, just to say, like I said in my words, Sarah obviously only come across temporary, but actually she is a real asset to the team. And actually, a lot of healthcare system, we rely on a lot of bank and agency. They really struggle communicating with some of our patients and our relatives. But actually, Sarah does. She can walk in a room. She notices a distressed patient straight away. She'll go over and she just gets on with it. And actually, the understanding and the way she communicates is fabulous. Even from communicating with relatives on the phone as well. It's lovely. And when you overhear it, and I've been behind curtains myself, doing stuff with patients, and I can hear Sarah outside, and you do make a difference, a massive difference. And I think that isn't always an easy skill for people to have. But it's such an important one, and it's lovely. And obviously we have a lot of specials within neuro, a lot of patients that are obviously a one-to-one, and again with those patients you just get on with it, you adapt easily, and you listen to your patients' needs, and you do what they need. And it's lovely. It's lovely to see, and it's lovely to hear behind the curtain. When you can't necessarily see it, it is.
I'm really touched.
You do.
No, thank you for that, Chrissy. And I mean, Sarah, any reflections from you from behind the curtain, like the Wizard of Oz, which is what you clearly are?
Yeah, well, that is actually my favourite film, and I am going to have a red pair of shoes at Sparkle one day. I will. I know they're not uniform policies, so I leave them at home. So yeah, basically, I used to work. I came to Addenbrooke's actually in 1996 as a qualified staff nurse, and I did over 10 years in NCCU. But I decided to leave nursing, and that was it. I was never coming back to Addenbrooke's. I didn't care if the door hit me on the way out. I was never coming back. And then I spent the best part of 10 years being a patient. And throughout my time, where I literally journeyed from not wanting to come back to the hospital to realising that actually I walked out on something that was so intrinsically me. I know it sounds corny, but I say that nursing is as much my identity as is my name. And if I was to stick a rock and you cut me down the middle, it would say nurse. And I've been a patient where I've ended up helping out they're the nurses, and they've like, oh, you discharged now, can you put some scrubs on? And it was just my journey as a patient, through all kind of things, from an outpatient all the way through to being critically ill and minutes left to to live. I've brought that with me, not in a negative way, but just, I say to the patients that I spent as much time on your side of the bed rails as I have mine, and it's important that that I use that to integrate. And it's actually surprising. People are too frightened to ask questions. They see us that we're busy, and you know, they put so much trust in the hospital and everybody within the hospital that are doing the best for them. But people quite happily come in and they don't ask questions, and they're quite happy to have major surgery and then not know what's going on. And it's about being that advocate for that patient, no matter their needs, whether, you know, because it's your body and it's your health and it's your life that's impacted. And so it's literally, there's always a silver lining. And I like to bring what has happened to me and the traumas that have happened to me in the past. I like to bring some positivity through and turn it around, and only use it to enhance the patient's stay, you know, and the relative that, you know, has been incredibly brave, having to deal with life and then not even being able to see their loved one. And that particular scenario, it was a bank shift that I was doing, and I walked into the room and the atmosphere was horrific and everyone was really distressed, and it was just this young vulnerable adult whose eyes, and I looked at her and I saw my daughter, and I just put my bag down and I went straight to her. And then I went to the lady that was complaining and being quite vocal, and then calmed her down, and the sister. And it was one of the ladies that nominated me as a patient, and she said that that what she saw there, she said that was nursing. She said, what I saw there, she said, whatever it is, you have it. And I was so touched, but I never expected it to be followed up. And it's my privilege to be here on everyone's worst day of their lives, and to, if I can do something to ease that, then it's an honour, and I can't put it in any other way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you.
No, very, very moving nomination, Sarah, and also very moving hearing you talk about that day, but also your own journey. And could I just ask you, Sarah, and when you came to work this morning, or one day last week, how do you feel when you get out of your car or off the bus or off your bike when you're coming into Addenbrooke's? How do you mostly? I mean, perhaps Monday morning is an unfair morning to pick. But...
No, there's no Monday morning in nursing, you know, basically.
Yep.
Well, you could argue every day, your weekend is a midweek, and every day could be a Monday, depending on how the staff to patient ratios go and how special your special is. So I always look forward to it. I actually look forward to it. I came back, I did the return to nursing interview. They said, do 6 months as a healthcare assistant. You've had 10 years out. You know, it was pen and paper when I left. We've now got Epic. There's lots of changes. Make sure you're making the right decision. And then COVID came. And so I've been stuck working as a healthcare assistant, and with plans to go on and do my training, my return to practice again. I feel really quite lucky, and I know I've used that before, but I've been fortunate enough to have actually done a number of jobs, and I really think there's a lot of strength in this, that we should, it's not enough just to shadow somebody, but to actually do the job that person is doing. It allows you a greater understanding. So I see my role almost as a bridge. You know, I'm a bridge between the patient and the doctor, the patient and the staff nurse and the patient, you know, and the relative to the staff nurse. We're all like a bit like a jigsaw puzzle, and I think we've all got we all are important pieces, and we couldn't do what we do without us all coming together and fitting as we do. And I love the fact that you never know what each day is going to bring, and I just really enjoy what I do. I always offer up a little prayer, and it might sound a bit corny, but as I walk in the hospital, I always sort of say goodbye to the souls that have left us as the night's gone on, and hello to the new souls that have arrived in the Rosie. And to anybody that's in trouble, don't worry, you've got a great team at Addenbrooke's looking after you. So yeah, I really enjoy coming to work. I'm working with friends. I'm not working with staff members. Adam Brooks, and going away and coming back, it is a family. And I know we use that term, but when you see people that were very worried SHOs, when I was you know, in NCCU and I was coming up to my 10th year, but now consultants, and you go back, and I feel like I've returned back to my family, and I can't put it any other way. Neuro is a family, and I've been welcomed back, and I feel like I'm back in the heart of the family that I left, but they've welcomed me back, and I'm really lucky.
Yeah.
I've got a work family and I've got my own family, so yeah, it's a win-win basically.
Well, that's really wonderful. Again, very moving to hear, Sarah. And I think lovely to hear about the family and the welcome back that you've had in the summer, well, spring of last year, a year ago. And but also I think we need to bottle some of your energy every morning that you come in, and it's something special. And I think the way you put it is, you know, if you were a stick of rock, and you're not, and if we were to cut you open, which we won't, it would say nurse through that, and that really comes across so clearly. So Sarah, with all that in mind, again, I think somewhere there should be a box for you with I don't know if it's there now. Yes, there it is. So you have the posterette.
Thank you. Yeah, move
Lovely.
over, Oscars. I accept this on behalf of all returning to nursing and all HCAs and everybody from the bottom of the hospital right to the boardroom.
Fantastic. Superbly done. And then you'll have the You Made a Difference award badge, I think, in the envelope.
Yeah.
And then there's also the vouchers there, which whilst I'm sure you could buy for something nice for either your family at work or at home, we do hope you'll use that to get yourself something nice.
Yeah.
And then there's the cake, which again, we'll leave for you to eat as you see fit, or to share with colleagues.
Yeah, don't worry, they will enjoy it, I'm sure.
Good.
Oh my gosh! Oh, let's see, gold stars. It's so fitting, you know. You know, only in the Oscars they get goodie bags. We get goodie boxes. I mean,
yeah, we don't.
You know.
Exactly. They're calling us later for a bit of a tip as to how to do an event properly. Okay.
The thank you speech.
Okay. Well, Sarah, thank you so much, and very well done.
Thank you.
And again, a huge well done and thank you to Salvatore and his fan club there as well. And obviously a big thank you to Chrissy and everyone else who's joined. Okay, good. Donna, is there anything else for us to do now, do you think?
No, that's everything.
No.
Yeah.
Lovely. So Donna, thank you so much, and a huge thank you to everyone for joining. It's still sunny. Still warm, spring is coming, the blossom is out, and thank you for all you've done. We're hopeful and optimistic for the future, particularly with people like Salvatore, Sarah, all the colleagues who've joined this morning. So in the meantime, thank you again, well done, and have a lovely rest of your day and week. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, and congratulations again, Sarah and Salvatore.
Thank you.
Well done.
Oh, let's see your dad.
Bye.
I'm sorry.
Excellent.